Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Godstatus, and today we are doing the first Ghastly Harbor Nightmare Hardcore solo run on YouTube. I'm fairly sure it's the first. If it's not, I will go ahead and change it. But I will show you guys my gear sets, how I'm running things, give you guys tips on the way, how I'm doing the bosses, and I will explain everything as we go. If you guys need any help or anything like that, go ahead and leave a comment and feel free to ask. I'm also pretty active in the Dungeon Quest Discord if you need me there. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys learned something out of it. I'll see you guys soon. So to kind of guide you guys through what I'm doing here, I'm always going to be using the Mighty Leap. However, with the Earth Spikes, I will do more damage and I can technically kill them faster, but I value the mobility a lot more compared to the damage. It's a lot easier and a lot less risky if you're moving around quicker rather than just going for the damage, so that's why I go for that. Now when we come up here to a group of minions with no raiders and it's just the big guys and the mages, or however you would like to call these guys, the gunners, it is more worth it in my opinion to use these spikes. Two of them, well, 2 casts combined will automatically kill them, so it's a bit faster than 5 slams. However, when we switch over to raiders again, we do need to switch back. I will always use a slam prior to going in so I get the movement speed and I take less damage. I might take 1 hit, but 1 hit is a lot better than taking 3 or 4 and immediately dying. And as you can see, we just go ahead and kite everyone around, and it's pretty simple. But now we're just going to zoom through everything else, and I will talk to you guys and guide you as needed. Real quick, for heals and stuff, I just keep a low, non-maxed out, just normal magic item in my inventory to switch for heals. Heals aren't necessarily needed if you are able to dodge everything, but if you are a little bit careless and you're not playing super, like, micro-perfect movement, then you do need some kind of heal with you, and that's just how I do it. Now the Kraken boss I do in a pretty easy way. I go ahead and throw on Earth Spikes as they are the best for damage as far as warriors go. And I will go over to this corner right here, and there's an easy way to kite both the tentacles. You just have to be kind of careful with your movement. So I'm going to show that right now when the second tentacle spawns. Okay, so now that the second tentacle is up, the easiest way to do the Kraken, and your whole team could do it this way if they want, bait out this first hit, and that second one will always follow. So as long as you're sitting over in this corner, you bait this first one. You move to this wall, the second tentacle just can't hit you, and you will never take damage that way. The only time you'll take damage is either these lines or from the sharks if you're not careful. And Kraken is done. Really simple, really easy. The second boss is truthfully the only issue you should have with this dungeon. Alright, so moving on to the second boss, I will always be using the Mighty Slam just because the mobility is a lot more important than the damage here. Now this boss does come down to kind of RNG, which you guys don't know what that means, random number generation, where you sometimes get lucky and sometimes you don't. There's times where you can just die to this boss and there really isn't much you can do. It just comes down to your luck as far as the spawns of these lines on the ground. As you can see, if I get an open spawn like this, it's really easy. Just go ahead and bait the big purple circle and then you're fine. But if you do get stuck in a small line like that, you might have to take a tick or 2 of damage, and that's normal, that's fine. But as long as you're able to stay mobile and just get your way around, you should be fine. Now the cannon part for this is fairly simple and self-explanatory. It's just dodging the orange circles. Sometimes they do stack up and make it a bit difficult, but as long as you're patient, you should never die on this stage. As long as you're counting, it's usually 5 times that he will do the lines on the ground, and then it switches back to the cannon stage. Again, pretty simple, just run back, dodge the orange circles. You should never die here, and if you do, you just need to take some time to practice. And the second boss is dead. That is easily the hardest part of this. The final boss is relatively easy. There are 2 different ways to do it between the spikes and the slams. It's basically if you want to be safe or a little bit more aggressive, and I will explain both of those when we get there. Also, I know I talked about how I would switch to these spikes whenever there wasn't raiders involved. However, at times it is just a bit easier to keep running the slam for mobility purposes, and especially when you're this late into it, you don't want to have a slip up. You want to stay as safe as possible. Alright, so this last group of minions is here in this quarter. A little shortcut in case you guys don't know, you can go ahead and scale these rocks. It does save you a little bit of time, but it's nothing too insane. Alright, so on to the final boss. I'm going to explain both strategies quickly now before we actually go in. So the first strategy, running Mighty Leap, is to sit here and use both of these for the movement speed. Now the boss does have multiple attacks that can spawn little circles on the ground. There's going to be 2 line attacks from this side, and then there's a fire attack where it spawns a really big box, and then about a second or 2 later, it does the actual attack. So with Mighty Leap, you can easily get out of the fire attack. If you want to use the earth spikes, it's a little bit harder. You might take damage and you might have to heal more often, but it is definitely a little bit quicker to kill the boss. It really depends on how comfortable you are with this, but for the sake of doing this video and kind of showing the safe route for people who might try to do this on their own, we're going to use Mighty Leap and go through the full boss. I'm not going to speed this one up at all so you guys can see the entire boss kill, and I hope you guys enjoy. The reason I'm running side to side here is to kind of avoid the attacks, especially when the fire attack comes up. You want to go to the side that doesn't use an attack or it's about to use one so you can kind of set yourself up safely. It's just a little bit of micro movement that does help out. Took a little damage at the end there, but there we go. Pretty decent drops right there. We went ahead and got a blue Seafarer's Magic. Kind of crappy, only 260k potential, but we also got a Hunter's Warrior Armor, which let's go ahead and check that out. And we got 1 spell, but the spells are kind of eh. This one isn't anything too special. I'd rather use the Leap and the Spikes. Alright, so the Hunter's Warrior Armor we got is about a 31.7k potential, which is lower than what I have, so nothing too useful for me. But I hope you guys did enjoy. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the first Nightmare Hardcore solo uploaded. If you need any help with anything, feel free to leave a comment asking, or you can always DM me on Discord. I'll try to keep you guys updated with this stuff and try to make more guides on things like that. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.